This is a help video for your Integers B assignment. The problems that you're going to see are going to be similar to these. They won't be the exact same numbers. I'm going to do a couple of these type and then a couple of the other type that you'll see. And then if you have any other questions when you're working on your assignment, please make sure that you ask me. So it says the table gives the temperature in Fahrenheit in 5 cities at 6 a.m. on the same day. Use the table to answer the question. So you can see we have the cities and then we have the temperatures. A, how much higher was the 6 a.m. temperature in Portland than in Juneau? Okay, so for each of these, I think it's really helpful if you just draw yourself a little thermometer. And in Portland, it was 47 degrees Fahrenheit, and in Juneau, it was negative 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we're going to try and figure out how much higher was the temperature in Portland than in Juneau, we have to take into consideration that from negative 28 to 0, that is 28 degrees. Okay, so that means the temperature went up 28 degrees. It's higher, right? And then from 0 to 47, that's another 47 degrees. So to figure out how much higher, we have to take the 47, add to the 28, and that would give us a 75 degrees Fahrenheit higher. Okay, the next question. By noon, the temperature in Milwaukee had risen by 17 degrees Fahrenheit. What was the temperature there at noon? Okay, so in order to do this one, we're going to have to look at what Milwaukee's temperature is. And then we're going to have to take into consideration that by noon, it had risen by 17 degrees. So at 6 a.m., okay, so for the next part, it says by noon, the temperature in Milwaukee had risen by 17 degrees Fahrenheit. What was the temperature there at noon? So for this one, we have to realize that if this is 0 and the temperature in Milwaukee at 6 a.m. is negative 11, and then it rises 17 degrees Fahrenheit. So from here to here, that means it's going to increase by 11 degrees, right? To go from a negative 11 to 0. Negative 11 to negative 10 to negative 9 to negative 8 to negative 7 to negative 6, negative 5. So that is 11 degrees. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so the change would be 11 degrees to get to 0. Okay, and then it says that it had risen by 17. So from here to here is 11, and then we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this is 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree, 6 degrees. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next one. For each scenario, choose the best statement. You are paid $12 and then you spend $12. So you earn 12 and then you spend 12. So that one, your overall change in money is 0. Okay, so your net change. The next one, a boxer loses 4 pounds and then gains 7 pounds. So if he loses 4 but then gains 7, he is going to be above his starting weight because the net change there would be 3. Let's look at the next one. A bird flies down 15 feet, so down 15 feet, and then up 10 feet. So now you have to answer this question. Is the bird above its initial height? The bird is below its initial height. The bird is 0 feet from its initial height. So if it has an initial height and then it flies down 15 and then up 10, the net change is negative 5. So the bird is below its initial height. Okay, let's look at another one. The temperature drops 6 degrees and then rises 6 degrees. So the temperature is at its beginning value. A bird flies up 45 feet and then down 0. So if it flies up 45 feet and down 0, it's going to be above its initial height. The company gains 13 and then loses 15 employees. So when we find the net change here, the company size is going to be smaller by 2. Okay, let's look at another one of these types of questions, and then I think you'll be ready to do your assignment. So the table gives the temperature in 5 cities at 6 a.m. on the same day. Use the table to answer the questions. So how much higher was the 6 a.m. temperature in Miami than in Juneau? So let's draw our little thermometer here. If here's 0 and Miami is at 76 degrees Fahrenheit and Juneau is at negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit, how much higher was the 6 a.m. temperature in Miami than in Juneau? Well, from here to here is 25 degrees higher, right? And then from here to here is another 76 degrees. So the total change from negative 25 to positive 76, we would have to actually add these two together. So that would be 101 degrees. Okay, the next one. By noon, the temperature in Juneau had risen by 13 feet. What was the temperature there at noon? So for this one, let me just quickly draw another thermometer here for you. So if this is our 0, and our Juneau temperature is at negative 25, but then by noon it had risen by 13 degrees. Well, from negative 25, if we go up 13, we would be at negative 24, 23, 22, negative 21, negative 20, negative 19, negative 18, negative 17, negative 16, negative 15, negative 14, negative 13, negative 12. Obviously, this is not 0. Okay, so if it rises by 13 degrees, then the temperature at noon is going to be negative 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so as you work through these, it's really, really helpful if you draw pictures to help you. Make sure that as you work through these, you ask questions about any that you don't understand. When you're done, complete at 100% correct, submit your screenshot to Canvas, and then move on to your next learning task.